Good morning.
Good morning. Here is your ticket.
Where are we going? Oh, Providence, Rhode Island. That should be fun. 9:30 flight. So once I knew where we were going, I had to get there and find a story in just 48 hours.
Have a good day. Thanks, you too.
Wish us luck. Here we go. And to kick things off, after I landed in the city that is known for its art and food scenes, my team surprised me with a little adventure. Hi.
Very nice to meet you, sir.
Very nice to meet you.
Marcello the gondolier.
David, nice to meet you. Who knew you could take a gondola ride in Providence? But hey, let's go.
Santa Lucia.
I don't know what the heck they said, but that was beautiful. What is Providence treasured for?
Our founder, Roger Williams, founded a settlement where anybody who wasn't welcome anywhere else was welcome here.
We felt that walking around Providence. David Begno, nice to meet you.
David Beckham.
No, that's the soccer player. Begno.
Oh, Beckham.
Begno. I'm looking for a story.
You are?
Yes, ma'am. And Greg Stevens has a lot of stories. As the fourth generation owner of Olneyville, New York system, which boasts Rhode Island's best hot wieners. Okay, so it's a German sausage topped with meat sauce, mustard, onion, and celery salt. Woo! Being the picky eater that I am, I was a little hesitant. But hey, Steven said, try it.
There's a lot of flavors in there.
Keeping it the same, that's our secret.
Now, before I boarded the flight in New York, I posted on social media asking people, hey, you got any story ideas for us? Send. And there were hundreds of people who responded saying, cooking con Omi, or cooking with Omi. So I said to my team, hey, you want to go by her house and surprise her? Hello, Omi.
Oh my gosh!
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Surprise! She had already heard on social media that we were in town looking for a story. And naturally, she started cooking. She gave us that Puerto Rican favorite, tostones with a little ceviche.
Thank you.
She's become popular for cooking on TikTok. And it all started with an Instagram post at the height of the pandemic.
I was at the grocery store. I was in the parking lot. It's where I often went to go cry because we were struggling. And I said, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna get what I need and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna cook. On that very day, I turned on my camera and I said, anybody wanna cook with me? I'm lonely.
Since then, Omi built an online community, cooking right from her kitchen. It earned her a spot on the second season of the TV show Next Level Chef.
It made me feel like I was supposed to be doing what I was doing.
I just love when people find their purpose. Well, another bite down, more to come. So we headed for Federal Hill. That's the Little Italy section of Providence, to see who we'd meet next.
I love a meatball.
And then this happened.
Car's right here.
When I left the Italian food market, I noticed a man who was helping a woman who was clearly struggling to walk. So I offered to help them.
I'm Mitchell. Your name?
David Begno with CBS
David,
News.
pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So we're actually in town looking for a story. What do you do for a living?
I'm a watchmaker.
A watchmaker.
A watchmaker, yes.
I don't feel like I've ever met a watchmaker. Mitchell and his mother were in the valet parking zone, and I didn't want to hold them up. So we said our goodbyes.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Take care.
take care.
Good evening.
So as Mitchell and his mom drove away that day, I kept thinking about him. Something about the way he spoke, his articulation and diction, and I thought, I wonder what this guy's backstory is. I had given him my number, and sure enough, about 5 minutes later, he texted me. And based on what he said in that conversation, I told him, Mitchell, we want to make you our story. And the timing was perfect. So first of all, nice to see you again.
You as well.
I mean, the way we met is wild.
It was serendipitous.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. Meant to be.
Mitchell invited us into his workshop here at Providence Diamond. I learned that Mitchell Thompson is part of a small and elite group of Rolex certified watchmakers in the United States. And he's just 25 years old. Mitchell masters the craft of both repairing and rebuilding luxury watches.
Who gave you your first watch?
My mother.
How old were you?
I was 8 or 9, and she said, well, you're going back to school, you need to know how to tell the time with hands, no digital watch.
He now owns 25 watches. And it turns out studying languages was his first love. Luxury watches came next. He enrolled in watchmaking school in Pennsylvania, fully funded by Rolex, with only 11 students in the graduating class.
What is it that you love about watches?
I love innovation, and I love the cultural significance of the watch.
What is the specialty that a watchmaker possesses?
Passion. If you don't love this, there's no place in this business for you. You have to love it.
Why?
It's very similar to the focus you have when you thread a needle. You have to do something over and over and over again. Biggest example is a loose screw in a watch, and you're checking every single one every time. And if you miss one, that can stop the watch.
You know, 50 years ago, Rolex says there were more than 30,000 watchmakers across the country. Today, there are less than 2,000, and we just happen to run into one of them.
So what is your takeaway from this experience? Meeting us, telling your story, being the one who we decided we wanted to tell the story about?
Well, I find it a reinforcement for a belief I've always held, in that things have a way of finding their place, and it never hurts to ask, hi, what's your name? Because you never know where it leads.
As you did, and I'm glad
right.
you did.
Well, thank you.
So thank you.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure.
You as well.
You know, in 2 decades of telling stories, I've learned that random encounters can lead to some pretty meaningful moments. You just have to be willing to lean into it, time and time again.
He just wraps it up in a bow for us.
We had so much fun. I mean, how random is it to run into that guy on the street?
It's true to life, though. That's what I like about that story, is it felt like I was living actual time with you, as opposed to you putting together an artificial story. It was just existence as you found it.
Tony D, that's exactly how it came about. And listen, Dana, I got to give a shout out to the crew, right? Kenton, Alyssa, and Jack. You guys, we do this literally in 48 hours.
Right.
Okay, there's no cheating here. And what's different is usually on a story, you show up and everybody's lined up, right? You've set it up, they're waiting for you.
All the X's and O's.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. We get there and they're like, David, where you want to go? And they just follow me around. And so it's actually super stressful.
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
gotta find somebody.
I love it.
Only you could pull that off. Well done.
Keep
once
pulling
again.
it off.